Hi, this is Lucy, and this is Tuesday Talks at 3. I am your clarity coach, and I'd like to welcome you to the Lining Up 2024 series. This is the time of the year as we come to the end. We start to prepare for the next period, the next season, the next endeavor of our lives. And then we start to wonder, what is it that we are doing right or that we are doing wrong? We've already covered that in the previous sessions where we had the personal audit series. And this lining up of 2024 fits in perfectly. There's just that natural progression from one series to another. And I do hope that you feel the same way that I do. So once again, welcome to the Lining Up 2024 series. I will be taking you through four steps to help you align and level up your New Year resolutions with a strong emphasis on personal development and mental well-being. The steps will be four. Today we're going to be looking at resolutions versus values, and we'll be taking you through with a question. The question will be simply, how have you come up with your New Year's resolutions in the last 2 years? Something to invoke interest and insights. I'd love to hear from you. We then move on to step 2, which will be mindset versus compassion. What does that mean for you? How does that show up in your life? Then relationships versus connections will be our third episode. And our last episode in this Lining Up 2024 series will be all about time versus accountability. Very important metrics in our lives. In every aspect of our lives, there's an aspect of time, and there has to be an aspect of accountability. So those are the 4 different episodes that I will be taking you today. But today, during this month of November, but today we are looking at resolutions versus values. And I'd like for you to click here, as you can see on the screen, click on the request to join for a chance to engage me on a one-on-one when it comes to matters resolutions versus values. I'd love to engage with you. Glad to see you there, Murugu. Today we are talking about lining up our 2024 series, getting ready for 2024, coming from the backdrop of the personal audit series. If you missed that, you just want to go on to our YouTube channel, which is Lucy Macridis on LMC, Lucy Macridis, and you'll be able to find us there. And we'll be showing you 5 different ways that you can be able to do your personal audit. But back to the topic of today. Today in this episode, we seek to be prepared to make resolutions. So it doesn't necessarily have to be that it is a New Year's resolution. It's just so timely because it's that time of the year. But you can use it in every other aspect of your life. Whatever decision making that you need to do is based on what I'm going to walk you through today. And therefore, I'm going to help you come up with resolutions or decisions in a way that perhaps you have never engaged before. And please tell me if this resonates with you. So please share with us here, right on the thread there, and I will sample some of the contributions. Just see, maybe for some of you it's the first time you're hearing. Some of you, you're hearing it a second time, or you're hearing it again and again. But however, you have not applied it in your life. So let us look at some simple ways, as promised, to craft your New Year's resolutions. The first one is figuring out your inner compass. Your inner compass. And when you think about the word compass, the thing that comes to mind is something nautical, something that allows you to have direction, move from one place to the other so that you stay on track. You don't get off track and go into different directions. And even if you have the distractions of life, because you have a compass, you course correct and you come back to that path that you had set out for yourself. So discovering your inner compass is key, and in so doing, for the context of what we're talking about today, I'm going to be looking at core values, and I'm big on core values. In my core values masterclass, I take my participants through identifying their core values. And it's identifying, not picking, not choosing. It's identifying, because there's certain exercise you need to go through. And I take them through 5 key areas, but for the sake of today's session, I will share 2 with them. You have to look out for our core values masterclass and sign up and get to engage with those 5 ways to identify your core values. I hope this can resonate with you if you just stay with me right through to the end, so that we can see where it plugs into your life. So let's look at one of the tips. The first one, or not the first one, but one of them is consider a high moment in your life. Think about it. What did you feel? The excitement, the being thrilled, something new. Your mind is engaging in areas that you never thought. It's coming alive. This is a high moment in your life. Maybe you're experiencing a union in marriage, or a childbirth, or a graduation. Whatever it is, I want you for a moment to consider that high moment in your life, because it'll be different from one person to another. However, the feeling will be the same. And what I would like you to then answer is, what values were you honoring? When you're in that high moment, what values were you honoring? Write it down. Write them down. Come back, add, remove, work on it. It's your list. And this then begins a list of values for you, things that mean something to you. What are you honoring? Is it hard work that you're honoring? Is it consistency that you're honoring? Is it determination that you're honoring? Think values. That's what I would like for you to think. Then move on to the second one. Remember, I said that there were 5 of them. I'm only sharing 2 with you today. The second one is consider a low moment in your life. Consider a low moment in your life. And the question is, what values are you or were you suppressing? What values are there? Because once you start to list down these values, you'll begin to realize there's quite a few values. In fact, if you Google values, you will see that there's so many. I was able to Google and relate to about 300 values, but guess what? I came down to 3 key values in my life. And I show up as that person in everything that I do. And when I don't, I feel misaligned and I feel unfulfilled. When I ask myself questions like, what value am I honoring, or what value am I suppressing, I course correct. So this is your inner compass, as I'm talking about. So listing these values and being aware of them in your daily life is really a great and super way, absolutely super way, to be aware of what resonates with you. You may find that there are certain things that don't resonate with you because it belongs to somebody else in a different time. You have evolved, or it is someone who you emulate, a role model that you love to emulate, and maybe you are trying to live their values. And this kind of course corrects you, because you will realize what you resonate with and what you don't. However, it would serve you very well to put them to the test, because that's when we know the real thing. And like we say in Kenyanese, we will know how things on the ground are, because usually they are different. So now that you have your list of your values, begin to put them to the test by ensuring you bring them to life in your daily lives, if that makes sense. And see, am I being consistent in everything that I do? Am I exercising integrity in everything that I do? Am I being determined? Am I being innovative? All these are values. You begin to test yourself, and you will realize that there are some places these values just appear very naturally for you, but in some areas you are struggling. But you know what? You've taken the first step. And you've written them down. And because you've written them down, you tend to be aware and do even more. So this is definitely a powerful motivator. A powerful motivator because it helps you to understand what it is, what kind of inner compass it is that is true for you. So by regularly assessing your progress, you will be nurturing your mental well-being. It's as simple as that. And celebrating your wins is one way to do this. Remember to always celebrate your wins. So the question for today is, how have you come up with your New Year's resolutions over the last 2 years? So stay with me through to the end, and let's see whether the other 2 tips are able to help you, whether you resonate with them. The second step is unleashing your passion. Unleashing your passion. You can already see I get so excited when I talk about passion. I am very passionate about the things that I love, and the Japanese tool, Ikigai, promotes 4 quadrants. And these 4 quadrants, they help you to find your reason for living, that reason to wake up in the morning, like as if it's an intrinsic motivator that you work on. Now, one of these quadrants, you need to look it up, Google it, and look up the Japanese concept of Ikigai. There are 4 quadrants, like I said. But the one that we're going to talk about or touch on today is the one quadrant that is what you love. So it engages you in ways that you can come out and show what it is that you love. There's something that you love, or there are multiple things that you love, that you simply love. Write them down. Write them down. Is it things that you love to do, things that you love to see, things you love to be engaged in, things you love to study, things you love to learn from, or just have a deep appreciation for whatever it is? Just write it down, because this self-discovery is beginning to remove things that you have kept hidden, that you only keep in your mind. And the power of writing down something just puts it into reality, into context. It's now away from your mind, and as you write it down, you begin to internalize it better. It sounds so weird that once you take it out of your system, you begin to internalize something. It's because you're writing it down. It's like there's a message that goes into your mind, and this message then allows you to internalize it even better. Now, being able to articulate what you love doing fuels you to do even more. In fact, one sure way of knowing or identifying that one thing that you love is asking yourself, what is that one thing or a few things that I can do for free? That actually, if you don't pay me, I can actually do it. And some people will say to you, I'm an event organizer. Every time there's a get together, I'm the one who's putting it all together, calling people, RSVPing. This is what I do. There are other people who say, I love to write. I love to write. So if you asked me to write content for you, I could write it free of charge before you even think about charging. So that's one quadrant I'd like us to look at. And the tip here is just ask yourself, what would you do for free? We're looking at unleashing our passion. The question today is, how have you come up with your New Year's resolutions over the last 2 years? And I'm inviting you to join me here live right now. Just click there, the request to join, just click it. And just for maybe 5 minutes, come on and engage me on that question, how it is that you have come up with your New Year's resolutions the past 2 years. And let's see whether these 3 tips that I'm giving you can resonate with you, and whether it's something that you're willing to try. So by aligning your resolutions with your passions, you will experience a renewed sense of motivation. And we need to be motivated intrinsically. That motivation needs to come from within. The validation needs to start from within before we seek the external. So this will lead you to lasting personal growth and absolutely healthy mental well-being. And this is what we all want. We want to measure growth, and we want to be in a place where we feel good about ourselves. So the question is, again, and great to see you here, Creative Collections and Gomeri Combo. The question today is, how have you come up with your resolutions over the past 2 years? We're looking at the Lining Up 2024 series, and we're very specific about resolutions versus values. So number 1 was about identifying your values, and that was your inner compass. And number 2 is unleashing your passion. That means it suggests it's coming from somewhere deep down and we are releasing it. Number 3 is purpose-driven resolution. So the word purpose now is being introduced. It's about crafting a life aligned with your deepest calling. That is just so powerful even as I say it. You see, your life's purpose is a guiding light. It is a guiding light that can significantly impact your resolutions. So why not align them? Why not align your life's purpose? So combining your values, your passion, and your purpose gives you a framework to show up from. And I'm going to say that again. Combining your values, which we have identified, your passion, which we have identified, and your purpose gives you a framework to show up from. That means from whatever angle of your life, whether it is in your relationships, whether it is in your career, whether it is in your fun and leisure time, whether it is in your financials, whether it is in your spirituality, no matter what area of your life, you will be showing up from this framework as you make decisions. Now take this, and this is the combination of your values, your passion, and your purpose. Take this and align it to those resolutions. No more knee-jerk New Year's resolutions. We are all guilty. We get overtaken by the emotion or by the peers around us who are throwing all these resolutions that seem to sound so great. And then by the 31st of January, they've all fizzled away. There was no sustainability. So there is a pipeline by which to arrive at your resolutions. And if you can include in that pipeline your values, your purpose, and your passion, you will see, and I trust you will see a sustainable way to keep your resolutions going, especially to keep your motivation up and running. Now, though it sounds so simple, you need to put in the hard work. That means you have to keep on showing up in those values. Remember when we're talking about identifying the values in the beginning, it is us coming up with different areas in our lives and identifying what resonates with me and then showing up. So can you imagine if one of your values is integrity and you're in a situation where you are compromised? How does that make you feel? Clearly, you are dishonoring your value. But are you going to do something about it or not? These are the hard questions. This is where the work is. How are you going to shift your mindset? How are you going to shift your behavior? Therefore, your actions then speak louder than words. Even to yourself, how do you sleep at night then if you are in breach of your own values? So this guides that you will no longer have knee-jerk New Year's resolutions. In fact, you'll be in a situation where you question yourself. How am I showing up? And how am I feeling? What do I need to do to course correct? Oh, so many questions today that I have asked. But this is the point where the talkers and the doers get separated. This is where we find that the people who are effective show up. They have decided this is what we're going to do, and come what may, we're making it happen. Because it's a journey. There are no guarantees. So we enjoy the journey. We make the mistakes and we use them as a stepping stone to our successes. And we keep it moving. We celebrate our successes when we get them. It's a journey and we need to concentrate on celebrating our journeys. So this alignment will not only make your resolutions meaningful, but also promote your mental well-being, as I mentioned in the beginning, by fostering a sense of fulfillment and direction. And that's what resolutions are all about. You're saying, this is what I want to do. So we want to foster that direction in a sustainable manner. We don't want it to fizzle out. And if it does, then how do we course correct? Meaning that we had an objective that we had set out in the beginning, which was very clear, and we knew the action plans that were attached to it. So how have you come up with your New Year's resolutions in the last 2 years? I haven't seen anybody come up here with any comments. I'm just checking. I don't see any interaction yet. But don't you worry. All you have to do is watch the replay of this here on IG Live, or go ahead and access our LMC Consultancy YouTube page for the recording of this later on. Well, I do not leave you without any takeaways, but in conclusion, I would say embark on a self-discovery journey to understand your core values, your passion, and your purpose. This is going to help you when it comes to putting together your resolutions, your New Year's resolutions. Then ensure your resolutions align with all this. Embarking on that journey, identifying them is one thing. The second one is ensuring that you are aligned. We'll be talking about compassion in the next session. So at least, because there's certain times when things don't work and then we beat ourselves up. Well, the 3 takeaways for today, as promised, as you think through a resolution or resolutions for sustainability or that are sustainable, identify your core values. Know what resonates with you and what doesn't. Honor your passion. This comes naturally. This is something you can do for free. Don't fight it. Don't go against the tide. Go with it and allow yourself to become. And once you integrate 1 and 2, which is your core values and your passion, including your purpose, you will be able to get a realistic and achievable resolution. These are some things that you can measure. Well, that's the end of our first session, our first episode on our series of Lining Up 2024. I do hope that those 3 points have resonated with you, and that I will be hearing from you on your feedback of how it has worked for you and how you hope to push that limit and to do more for yourself. This recording will be available on our YouTube channel, as mentioned before, LMC Consultancy, later on today. Our social media platforms have great tips on personal development and mental wellness. Just hop on there and engage them. Respond to me, so at least I know I'm talking to somebody. Give me some tips that you would like to hear, rather topics that you would like to hear more about. I'd really appreciate to hear back from you. And feedback. How would you like my Tuesday Talks at 3 to evolve into 2024? Would you like it to stay the way it is right now? Would you like to see a different type of Tuesday Talks at 3? Would you like to meet me in person? Talk to me and tell me what you feel, so that I can be able to respond and grow, because it's all about personal development and meeting my achievements and my mental well-being. Well, you can find us on Facebook, on LinkedIn, you can find us on TikTok, and you can find us, of course, here on Instagram as Lucy, your clarity coach. Thank you so much for being here with me. Look out and sign up for the Black Friday offer. Yes, it is the month of November. Our Black Friday offer will go live on the 24th of November, and I am offering 75% off the price point on my masterclass on procrastination, which is a stealer of time. You do not want to miss this. Our next episode on Lining Up 2024 series is on mindset versus compassion. Mindset versus compassion. You do not want to miss that. Let us help build each other. Until then, be kind to yourselves. Bye-bye now.